Nice.
Nice. Proteus.
Proteus. More like Brodius, am I right?
Oh, snap.
We should say who we are, since that person so rightly pointed out that we did not do that on the Spelunky episode.
Strange. I always just kind of presume people know who I am.
Yeah, that's...
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Every time I go to a restaurant, they don't have reservations for me.
You know me. I was on the internet playing Proteus. But, just in case you don't know, my name is Scott Juster. I'm from ExperiencePoints.net.
I'm George. I'm also from ExperiencePoints.net.
Nearly dying.
Yeah, I swallowed water and it went down the wrong pipe.
Don't worry.
You're desperate. You know, you're on Proteus Island without food and drink.
Yeah, clean water, hard to come by on Proteus Island. So let's
When are they going to do the Bear Grylls version where you have to drink your own piss?
God. Terrible.
People don't make enough island survival games, am I right?
Alright, I'm gonna hop into Proteus.
Please do.
Okay, save us from ourselves.
Made by Ed Key and some other dude. David Kanaga.
So, as we go on, let me know if the music levels are weird, because again, like a large point of this game is to actually listen to the sound effects too, and so if we're yammering over it too much, you know, just give me a yell.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So I haven't played this game at all. This is my first experience with Proteus.
Yeah, and that was a simulation of my first experience too. Like, I knew really very little about the game until I hopped into the ocean here.
Mm-hmm. When you first go, it's like, okay, am I playing Minecraft? Is that what's happening?
Well, yeah, I mean, it does create the world. Like, there's, there is some randomness to it.
Whoa. Hold on, baby Jesus here. What are you doing? Are you walking on water?
Maybe. Whoa.
Oh, whoa, rain. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Oh gosh, where'd the island go? Okay.
Sailors have lost ships full of men, Scott, for less of a mistake than that.
All right. So,
Wait,
yeah.
What happened?
It is similar to Minecraft in that it does seed the world. Like, there is some randomness to it in terms of how it's first generated.
One of the things I think is interesting about this is that even though it's pixelated, right, like everything's made out of blocks, the surfaces are still really smooth.
Yeah.
So you get this grass where it feels like it's one solid layer of grass, even though you know everything is made out of little pixels.
Yeah. So if you hear like the music, it's a little bit different there.
Yeah. Is that a sign?
It could be. Let's see. Just walk away from it a little bit.
Is it?
Let me turn up the volume just a little bit more. How do
Now,
I do
those
that without killing this
strange
game? Oh no, I don't
visual
think I can
things.
kill it. I can't. Interesting.
Right? Oh, what's going on? There are chickens.
There were chickens. Let me go over to them.
Now, when I see like weird graphical glitches, are those in fact graphical glitches, or is that like part of the game?
What kind of graphical glitches?
Like those trees coming into view and stuff? Or is that Twitch?
No, that's the clouds.
Oh, I see. Cloud cover. Oh,
yeah.
right,
So
makes sense.
that rain cloud that we were looking at is now over us.
I'm gonna be honest. It's a little obnoxious because it's so solid. Color.
Well, let's try to get out of the clouds then. So we can take a look at what's actually going on here.
What does Proteus mean?
If I was better at Latin, or actually, I suppose Greek, I would know. I imagine it's like something like the beginning, right?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Like proto.
Proteus, Greek mythology, a sea god who could change his shape at will.
There you go.
Is that probably? That's probably it.
Well, I did start off in the sea.
Oh, I see. So maybe you are the. Are you suggesting you are the god?
Maybe. Okay, let's take a look at what else is on this island, because we've just been staring at this castle for a while.
Castle Black. Let's talk about Game of Thrones.
Okay, here we go. So,
Chickens.
let's take a look in the distance. Go over to one of those mountains.
Yeah.
There's a path.
So there's other human life, presumably.
Theoretically. It's getting dark.
Is that when the Jabberwocky comes out? Do you have to be scared? It's so funny because you see games like this and you see games like Dear Esther, and they're super atmospheric, right? Like the experience is so hinged upon creating a world where like you're having a visceral reaction. Oh, oops! I used the word visceral. Excuse me. I apologize. You're having like some sort of emotional or some sort of reaction to the environment itself. But so much of the pioneers of that method of storytelling are horror makers.
Yeah.
Video games or movies.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see like some of the same sort of design decisions that lend themselves well to that. I mean, in this case, musical cues, but it could be anything. Or mystery. Like, what is that? Is that like a tombstone?
That's what I always thought. And I got fixated on them when I started playing. So I started taking screenshots of like one lonely tombstone.
Yeah. Like right there. I
Yeah.
mean, it looks like a tombstone.
Yeah.
Although I guess it's a little strangely shaped.
Well, I mean, then again, it's like what, how does that factor into just how the graphical style of the game is?
Yeah, like that could just be a rock.
Right. Let's see. What else can we do?
Yeah. Although, how come everything's covered with snow but not that rock?
It's a mystery. Oh, stars are coming out.
Little dots.
Let's see. I know in a previous playthrough, I found some statues that looked kind of humanoid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it freaked me out when I first found them.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to go into these types of games not knowing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, really anything. Like, because what if this game did turn into a horror game?
Yeah.
Like, and all of a sudden you started being hunted. Which, speaking of which, it actually reminds me of why I'm excited for that game, You Are Being Hunted.
Oh, yeah. I believe it's Sir, You Are Being Hunted.
Oh, yes, excuse me, sorry. Sir, You Are Being Hunted.
I don't know what that game is at all.
Yeah, not me either. I've just seen some screenshots.
Yeah.
But every now and then I spot a horror game that looks interesting and I'm compelled to play it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like being scared of things.
Huh. I don't know where the rest of those, oh, gosh.
Side note for people who might be listening or watching, there's a game on Kickstarter called not Kickstarter. Maybe it's on Kickstarter. It's called The Flock. Have you seen this at all?
It sounds familiar, actually. Refresh me of what it is.
It's an asynchronous competitive multiplayer game where you sort of play as these weird creatures. It's basically capture the flag, or I don't know, whatever those game variants where you have to hold on to something for X amount of time.
Right.
And in the game, basically, it's an orb of light, a flashlight, if you will. And if you shine it on your enemies while they're moving, they're destroyed. But if you shine it on them when they're not moving, they're fine.
Huh.
So it sort of creates this like weird horror aesthetic where it's more terrifying to not see movement because you can't do anything against it. Like, you have to turn your back on your enemies because they're working together to accost you.
Right.
Uh-oh, Stonehenge.
See, and this is the thing that freaked me out, because, like, maybe these are graves as well, and you could tell, like, the stars are all kind of flowing to this one point.
Oh, yeah, maybe they're not stars at all. And so what are those, like, wisps?
Yeah, here you'll see.
On the ground? Oh, you'll see.
Oh, you'll see.
You'll all see. I mean, the music's still calm, though, so, it's not...
Yeah.
It's not completely horror-inducing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you stand in there, it speeds up time.
Yep.
Interesting. Does it speed up time the faster? Does it speed up time faster based upon how close to the center you are?
It does start getting a little. Yeah, there you go. So I think a little bit. Hold on, let's see if we can tease it out.
Oh yeah, I mean the faster those things
Yeah.
swirl around, I guess in the center, right?
But then you can turn around and like try to work your way out of it. It kind of has a little bit of a physical effect, like it's hard to break out of it.
Oh really?
Yeah. But now that you're out, you can see like, oh, the sun is up again. Roughly what time it is.
Yeah. Now, does the landscape change dramatically while you're in there? Like, if I stayed there for a month,
Yeah, that's
cover everything with snow.
Yeah, let me show you the actual point. So let's get into the very middle here.
Oh yeah. What? Oh. Interesting. So this is springtime. I like that sun.
Yeah.
It looks like a sun that I drew when I was in like the 4th grade.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a summertime thing.
Okay. Now, is this a permanent location? Like you could come back and do this again?
It's the same. Oh yeah, you mean changing the seasons basically?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, eventually the day-night cycle will happen again, and once night falls, then you'll be able to go back there again.
Oh, I see. So it's only active at nighttime.
Right. I mean, it'll be active for the first time at nighttime, and then you can
now,
go
are there
back
puzzles in the game? Where, like...
this whole game is a puzzle, baby.
Is it really?
Like, what is this thing?
No birds? Oh, that white thing.
Yeah.
Oh, those are like bunny rabbits.
Yeah.
Or mole people. Silly mole people.
Gonna chase this guy for a while. Oh man, what?
Whoa, man, they can hop.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, look at the house.
Yeah.
So all the time that you've played, you've never encountered another human, though, right? You've only encountered the remains of human-esque things.
Exactly. So the first time I played, I found a path like this, and I just followed it all the way to a house.
But you cannot go inside the house.
Nope. Just gonna knock on the door here.
So when you first played this, what did you stop playing?
So I won't show all of this, but there is definitely an end to the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it involve you being hunted?
Only by time, my friend.
Oh. Well, the hunter that catches us all, am I right?
Yeah, it's
Deep.
deep.
Put that in your indie game.
Okay, there it is. See, above the house there, like right when I turn around, you'll be able to see this.
I don't see anything.
There's something at the far distance. That's what I was looking for.
What? Creeping me out, Scott. There's no rush though, right? I mean, theoretically, you could just sort of walk around.
You could pretty much do it forever, since like the day-night cycle will just continue.
What's interesting is that you spotted this thing in the distance, and I guess presumably there's some things that you find on the island that lead to that sort of end game. But you could play this and never encounter it, right? And just be like, oh, what is this crap? This isn't a game.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people, actually. I read a lot of Proteus analysis after I played it, and there were some people who would just be like, I played it for 20 minutes, don't get it, like, and it's clearly they never even went past spring, you know?
Yeah.
Check out these things.
Oh, yeah, weird. Horned people.
Yeah.
Now, would you have found these earlier, or did you have to go forward in time to find these?
They were there, but I got confused and turned around when we were on the island. I mean, sorry, when we were on the mountain.
The island. Okay,
Yeah.
Where's the Dharma Initiative located?
Maybe that big-ass tree. We'll go back down, see if we can take a look at that squirrel.
I mean, it's not really their fault though if they play this for 20 minutes and gave up, right? I mean, we've talked about it before, how like, oh, the beginning of a game has certain, requirements to be compelling.
Yeah.
I guess it just, if the designer's okay saying, you know what, if you give up after 20 minutes, this game is not for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So be it.
Do you like that intense squirrel chase action?
I did. I really like that. Yeah, that was good.
How about some bees?
Bees. I mean, it is. I mean, it is a little surprising that despite the world's so basic, there's like there's some AI involved.
Yeah.
Oh, what is going on here? Huh.
All these. Well, and this is where I thought it would actually start. It would like betray itself and start getting more game-like, basically.
Right.
But it actually didn't.
But there's patterns involved when you enter certain things, right? I mean, you can almost hear it in the music.
Yeah, definitely. And like when you get close to like certain pieces of grass, like you can hear it.
Yeah. So then, what are the themes of Proteus as you would describe it?
Well, as you can tell, we started off in spring, right? And now everything is in full bloom.
Yeah,
there's
bunnies.
Right, a lot more bunnies, bees, birds, rated M.
Battlestar Galactica. Bees.
So like if we go through here, you can actually hear the themes like...
It's interesting because I almost feel compelled, if I were to play this game, to find the game element.
Yeah.
Like that rabbit that jumps really high. Can I catch it? Can I get it?
I spent a lot of time chasing that rabbit.
And I'm going to guess that you cannot.
You cannot. Or,
yeah.
Well, you can't based on what I found. So like, and as you can tell, like when night falls, you could start taking a look at the stars and where they're going, and that'll lead you back to the next, or that'll lead you back to that area. And also the wind will lead you back too.
Oh, interesting.
So it kind of like gathers up the particles that you're looking at.
You could just wait though for the day and not do this time travel thing though, right?
Yeah, you can even take a look, like the moon is still going across the sky. The interesting thing, as I was digging through the options, is that you can set the length.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want a longer or shorter day-night cycle.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We'll just step into this.
Step into the light.
Yeah.
One of us.
I like that effect a lot. So, I'll show you. This will get more towards the theme.
So at GDC, I think it was this year, or last year, there was a party I went to, and there was a room full of people playing Proteus. Do you think that this lends itself to being like a group game, a game where like a bunch of people can sit around and watch you play and get something out of it?
I guess it depends on how patient your friends are, you know?
I'm leaving, Scott. This is
I was about to say. Because, I mean,
Oh, it's fall. That's cute.
Yeah. And as you can, if you listen, you can hear, like, the music has changed again.
Yeah. So themes of death and decay, then? Is that what I'm gleaning?
It's kind of, I mean, like, there's a lot more, there's a lot fewer insects, obviously.
Yeah.
And a lot of the woodland animals are kind of gone. Oh, here's some.
Does it only do one life cycle, then? 1 year cycle?
Yes. I mean, you can continue, you can start a new one, basically. But I should probably leave a little bit up to people's imagination so that they actually play the game themselves. but check out these guys here.
What are they? Lizard things?
Those were the dragonflies that we saw in the previous season.
Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And there's still some little weird things like these guys over here.
Yeah.
And they kind of like hide when you get closer to them.
So the next cycle is winter, presumably?
Yep. And then winter is like kind of where the big narrative payoff is. Or is it?
The White Walkers show up?
Well, I mean, like, it's kind of is, but I mean, really the narrative payoff is whatever you decide it is, in a way, because, like, I can see how some people could just spend all of Proteus. What is this?
What is that?
I don't know.
Achievement unlocked. That's pretty weird.
Maybe it's just grass?
I don't know. It looks like little statues of people, no?
Yeah, it does. But then again, like, are we just reading into it, like anthropomorphizing, like?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some writers who talk about games as sort of anthropological experiences in their own right.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes sense that you create a world where there's all these little pieces and mysteries of life lived in, right? And in any sort of anthropological study, you bring in your own perceptions.
Yeah.
So, you know, you look at those little square blocks and you're like, oh, there's a statue to people.
Yeah.
Other stuff, maybe some mushroomers like, oh, that's a red cat mushroom or something.
Yeah.
It's not a mushroom, though.
Not at all.
Not even close.
It's
fools.
And again, like this section here, I always looked at it as a graveyard.
It certainly looks like one.
Yeah. I really like the silhouettes in this game, actually. I think they do a good job of that. Man, this is a big storm that we're in.
It is hefty.
So, now that you've seen some Proteus, do you understand the whole is this a game, is this not a game thing that people were arguing about?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that argument is just kind of ludicrous and silly.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know. Those are never, in my opinion, they're not the interesting questions to ask.
Yeah.
Right? How does this game do X with Y, right?
Right.
The environmental storytelling, for example, is clearly really cool.
Yeah.
And the types of questions that interest me are, you know, how can we tell good stories with environmental storytelling, for example? Is Proteus worth looking at in that regard? Totally.
Yeah.
Are you trying to find a game? Like, if the question is, do you want to play a game that's super challenging and has levels 1 through 5? This is not the game for you.
Yeah.
But trying to define it ahead of time, it always seems silly to me. Like, you know what you're asking before you ask the question.
Yeah.
Or rather, know why you're asking it before you ask it. Because there are circumstances where, yeah, maybe I could see it being useful to know, is this a game? Is it not a game? But frankly, from my perspective, I don't care.
Well, and also, like, this is where I think Matthew Burns' article that he wrote a little while back on how we're just not even having the same conversation anymore. Like, we're pretending like video games are all one thing, or we're, like, trying to attempt to talk like they're all one thing, and it's just a fool's errand at this point.
I like that article a lot, and I think it came at a really good and interesting time as well. Because I totally agree. Yeah, because we tell ourselves, oh, you know, we're all working to the same ends, but you know, at this point, the medium is large enough to where no, we're not, and that's okay. It doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to all be trying to understand what is game. You know?
This looks really nice.
It's so interesting that this was bundled with Hotline Miami.
Yeah. Yep. This humble indie bundle with this, and then like Dear Esther, Thomas Was Alone, like Awesome Knots, like there's just so many weird juxtaposed like versions of what people are thinking about in terms of what video games are.
Yeah, and that's sort of why this type of bundle is always more interesting to me than the sort of themed bundles that you'll see released now and again, like platformer bundle or you know, whatever. Because I think part of it is when you play these games, next to each other, you get something different out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like I think playing Thomas Was Alone, Dear Esther, and this is really interesting because you're going to get something different out of it. Because in my opinion, all the games are in some way, shape, or form about the way we tell stories with games,
Yep.
or just stories in general. And you're not going to get that experience if you just play Dear Esther on its own.
Ooh, there's a bird.
Dear Esther is really interesting, and it'll be interesting to hear what you think about it. I think even more than Proteus, that was a bit, whoa, that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a bit more controversial, simply because it isn't as free as this. Like, this is fundamentally completely open.
Yeah.
Whereas that is less so. Can I say how large that owl is?
That's a pretty large... What?
What the hell is that?
Holy crap.
Oh, that's not an owl. That's Jared from the Labyrinth.
I've never seen this before. Oh no! It's going. What?
Quick, get up, catch it. No, it's just the mountain getting in your way.
No, it's... Look, it's receding.
Oh. Wow.
What?
And was it on the island or like away from the island?
I don't know.
I mean, that's an interesting thing about these types of experiences too, is like you want to share them with people. You want to describe what you saw.
Yeah.
Because that personal experience is so interesting.
Hold on, let's go up to the very top of the mountain and see if we can see anything.
It doesn't look like it has the best draw distance.
No, I mean, this is a very, like, from a technical standpoint, it's interesting that it, like, generates a lot of stuff. Whoa.
What the hell?
What is going on?
You must have eaten some weird mushrooms.
Yes. I did not experience this my first time playing it.
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to play it. Because for all I know, I have an even weirder experience
What the heck?
waiting for me. See, I wonder if it's location based too. Whoa. Like,
yeah, this is getting
this
weird.
is something that you experience only at the top of this mountain during this cycle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, during this season, you know?
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see actually someone pick this game apart methodically and be like, where exactly can you experience these things? Unless, you know, in fact, it is really random.
Yeah.
I prefer those types of games that really do make things consistent.
Whoa, there's a guy! What?
Oh god.
Oh,
That
man.
is a little terrifying.
What?
Oh my god,
Whoa.
follow him.
What is going on?
Oh my gosh.
I
There's
did
no way
not
to
see
catch
this the first time. What the heck?
Scott, I'm tripping balls right
Yeah.
now. Jared? What's weird is he is flapping wing-like appendages.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott, you're gonna lose him.
No, he's
you lost
gone. Whoa, there's a wolf thing.
This is some weird stuff, man.
Yes, this game got a million times weirder.
I mean, maybe it's oh man, he's gone too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a trickster god, you know, like the wolf is commonly seen as a trickster god in mythology.
And a lot of those, you know, each one of those statues that we found up on the mountain was a different figure. You know, like they were clearly different. You know, there was one that had more antler type things. There was more that had like looked more of like a bare bones human.
See, I know I mentioned I don't care about whether or not we identify a game, and I don't. But this is the type of thing that I think people who are trying to argue that it is a game are trying to make, right? And that if you really play this game, if you're really committing to experiencing it, you are interacting with it in a way that is very unique to this, right? Like you are trying to understand and make sense of those things. So whether or not you can call that what's happening in your mind part of the game is, again, moot in my opinion. But the point is, like, you are having a really strange and unique experience by engaging with it in that way.
And just the fact that I've played it twice now, and the first time I did not see any of that stuff. Man, freaked out now.
See, this is... These are the types of experiences that make me want to play more horror games.
Yeah.
And better horror games as well. Because there's so many weird things that you can do in the horror space that are just even hard to comprehend in a sort of linear narrative that you might find in a film, right? But it's potentially really cool that you experience in the game.
Alright. We should wrap up the stream pretty soon, but I don't know where my season changing thing is. Maybe I'll leave
Yeah.
winter to people's imaginations.
Oh, there's the owl again. Maybe you should follow it. Maybe the owl is connected to the guy.
It's looking at us.
Run. Run!
Oh, there it is. Oh, there's two of them now in that tree. Oh, there it goes.
Why is it that the circle didn't come back at nighttime? I thought it was like a common thing.
It was, but we ignored it to go up to the mountain, and now I don't know where it is.
Well, you're gonna have to wait for another day-night cycle?
Usually, I think what happens is that it appears during the night, and then it stays for the rest of the days after that.
Oh, I see.
But
So it does force you to experience some of the game in that sense.
sure, like if you want to, like if you want to go back out of the circle. Oh, look, there it is. You can see the stars over there.
Oh, yeah.
To the right. So let's go over there.
I believe Proteus was nominated for an IGF award, right?
That would not surprise
Okay.
me.
I think it was Excellence in Sound Design.
That makes sense. There we go.
Still think I'm a Thomas Was Alone fan, maybe a bit more, but I'll have to play this game on my own.
Yeah.
See, because I actually think that from watching this, I get the sense that it's really more of a single-player experience than a multiplayer experience. Like, I almost feel like, not that, I'm having a bad time or anything, but you're going to get a better experience if you're not in a crowded room full of people, but if you're just sort of taking it all in.
Yeah, that's why it was
Again,
interesting
you're-
to hear about like the IGF thing where like people were sitting around playing
Yeah.
it at the same time. Like I'm not. It would be interesting if like what were they doing? Like were they just comparing their responses? Or were they looking at what other people were
They
seeing?
were just watching and being, hipstery and trying to say,
Smoking that wacky tobacco.
as it were, yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Leroy! Yeah, I bet you so much of the experiences that you can have happen when you specifically shun the path forward,
Yeah.
which is interesting alone, that concept. Ugh. This is depressing and terrifying.
Yeah. So I think we should leave it here because there's a little bit more to be explored for sure. But I want people to have that experience too.
Yeah, there are things to be found in Proteus.
Clearly, since there's shadow men and wolf creatures that I didn't know about.
Yeah. Now I'm interested to read some of the analysis, because I bet you some people have seen almost everything and commented on the whole.
Well, and people that are much more connected to the ideas around human mythology probably have a lot of more things to say about it too.
You don't pray to the old gods, Scott?
Yeah, just that one tree, that one big tree. That's my deity.
The werewood?
Yes, it weeps. Sap tears.
I'll have you know, I've made 4 Game of Thrones references in this recording.
In terms of the Game of Thrones references, you've made many and more.
Oh, many and more, sir. My sweet summer child.
All right, I'm going to go into this big tree, and I'll show you what happens when you actually quit Proteus.
Oh, something happens when you quit Proteus.
Yeah. So here I am. I'm going to lay down. Winter is just too depressing. So you can't really get to a menu here, or maybe you can, maybe you can't. I haven't gotten to it yet, but if you just press escape, you start doing this thing. But if you let go of it, the screen comes back up, like the vignetting.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you hold it all the way down, you're closing your eyes,
That's interesting.
and then you go back to the title screen.
And when you first play the game, is it the act of opening your eyes? When
Yes.
you start it up?
Yeah. And you cannot get back to that world that you were at. Like
It's gone forever.
it regenerates a new one.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So that's Proteus. Well, part of Proteus anyway.
Proteus.
Game of the year. Take that, formalists.
We have to go back, Scott.
That's yes. Oh no! Oh no! I'm getting pulled back into Proteus. All right, this is a stream.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. This will go up on the website as well. Experiencepoints.net.
Woo. .com/Proteus.